budding, layering, and tissue culture propagation. Advantages of grafting: can be used to produce plant cuttings or any other asexual means. It makes plants to benefit from good quality rootstocks. Can be used to repair damaged plants, thus restoring them back to productivity, and hastens the growth of seedlings from the graft. Conditions necessary for successful grafting: only plants that are botanically closely related are compatible, for example, lemon and orange. The cambium tissue of the rootstock must be in contact with that of the scion. The graft union must be covered with grafting wax to prevent rotting. Methods of grafting: whip or tang grafting, used when the diameter of the two plants are of the same size or pencil thick. A slanting cut is made using a sharp sterilized knife on the scion and the rootstock. The two are then fitted and tied together using grafting tape. Is the commonest method of grafting and tends to be more successful than the other methods. Side grafting. The method is practiced when the rootstock is of a larger diameter than scion. The scion is inserted onto a cut made on the side of the rootstock. Cleft grafting. This method requires good cambial contact to be successful. A V-shaped split is made in the middle of the rootstock using a grafting knife. The scion is inserted in the split, ensuring that the cambial tissue is in proper contact. The graft union is made and tied together using a grafting tape.
The rootstock should be pencil thick.
Budding. Budding is a technique of propagation where a vegetative bud removed with a bark or scion is united with another plant or rootstock. Common methods of budding are T-budding. The rootstock and the scion should have the desired characteristics. The bud is inserted onto a slit made on bark of the rootstock and the union held tightly using a budding tape. The bark is then raised slightly and the vegetative bud is inserted and pushed downwards until it is below the horizontal line of the rootstock. The bud union is then tied firmly using a budding tape. The budding tape is removed 2 weeks after grafting to inspect the buds. The rootstock is then cut a few centimeters above the union. The green bud develops into a shoot. When the shoot is 25 centimeters, it is tied onto the rootstock to prevent it from strong winds. If the bud is green, then bud union is successful. If the bud is dry, the bud union is unsuccessful and must be repeated. Top budding. It involves inserting on various different desired locations on the same stem of young trees. It allows production of different varieties of fruits and flowers on the same plant as long as they are from the same species. Patch budding. It involves the removal of a rectangular patch of bark from the rootstock and replacing with another patch with the desired bud stick of the same dimensions and shape. The union is then tied both at the top and at the bottom so as to hold tightly. Importance of budding and grafting. Plants with desirable root characteristics may be utilized to produce plant products. The top part of the tree can be changed from being undesirable to desirable. More than one type of fruits or flowers can be produced on the same plant. Can be used to repair old and damaged trees. Can be used to propagate trees that cannot be propagated in other way, and can be used to shorten maturity age of trees. Layering. Layering is the method of propagation that induces a plant stem to produce roots while still attached to the mother or parent plant. The newly rooted layered stem is then detached and established as new independent plant. Methods of layering. Common types of layering include aerial layering or marcoting. It is used on hardwood where the tip layering. A shoot of currently growing bearing a terminal branch is bent to the ground and covered with a layer of wet soil. The terminal end is left uncovered. Rooting can be initiated by cutting the bark at the covered part. Trench layering. The branch to be propagated is laid in a shallow trench, held in position by pegs and covered with moist soil. Buds and roots develop at various points. The shoots are then cut and transplanted as independent plants. Compound or serpentine layering. The branch should be long and flexible. The branch is bent several times along its length and held in position by pegs. Several new rooted plants are produced, which are transplanted as independent plants. Tissue culture propagation. Tissue culture propagation is a biotechnology method of propagation in which a part of plant or single plant cell is isolated properly under controlled laboratory conditions and placed in suitable growth medium where it will develop into a whole plant. Propagules or explants derive from shoot tips where cells are undifferentiated. Culture medium containing correct nutrients and growth regulator under the correct environmental conditions, for example, light intensity, relative humidity, and temperature. Importance of tissue culture propagation. Can be used to cover and produce pathogen-free plants, for example, control of viral diseases, mass production of propagules, especially from one superior plant, and it is a cheap and faster method of propagation and requires a very small space.
The fresh media, you use it to transplant those shoots into fresh media here. After that, you take them back to the growth room. These ones over here are yet to be done. They're just like those ones. We come and split all those shoots and place them again in the fresh media. This is an autoclave. An autoclave is used for sterilizing equipment and the media. So they will be all put inside here and sterilized for them to be clean before use.
Stages of tissue culture propagation. Stage 1. Establishment of an aseptic media using ingredients such as inorganic minerals, carbon and energy source or sugar, vitamins, growth regulators, and organic supplements. Developing the propagule through enhancing cell division and enlargement. Use of disinfectants to eliminate contaminations, for example, alcohol, mercury chloride, calcium or sodium hypochlorite, and antibiotics. Transplanting tree seedlings. They are raised in potted sleeves, bags, or seedling boxes. They take much longer in the nursery bed, the time varying depending on the particular species. Holes are dug 1 month before transplanting of the seedlings. The topsoil is separated from the subsoil. Topsoil is used to halfway fill the planting hole. Seedbed should be well watered a day before transplanting for easy lifting and for the soil to stick around the roots, hence prevent root damage. Done at the onset of heavy rains. Use appropriate type and amount of fertilizer and manure in the planting hole. Seedlings are placed at the center of the hole and a sharp knife used to cut and remove the polythene sleeves, covered at the same depth as was in the nursery. The soil is then farmed gently. Management of seedlings. The seedling is watered, mulched, and shaded. Protected from domesticated and wild animals when still young. Different types of fences can be erected around the trees. These include live fence, wire mesh fence, and wooden fence. As learners, you are required to set up a tree nursery in schools or acquire tree seedlings transplant and manage them appropriately.